Hi, I'm Dr. Russ, and a member of Harris Teeter's Your Wellness team. I've yet to learn how to speak French, but I long ago learned to enjoy the subtle yet rich layers of taste found in French cuisine. Prepare your taste buds. You're about to see how our chef prepares a delicious meal of Dijon glazed chicken breasts with zucchini and herb olive oil mashed potatoes.
Hi, I'm Chef Amy Riolo. Let's first begin by talking about our chicken breasts. This recipe calls for 2 chicken breasts that are skinless and boneless, which have been sliced in half widthwise to make them very thin. I happened to purchase these at Harris Teeter, and they were already sliced this way for me, so you can look for those too, and it will save time as you're preparing your chicken recipe. This is about a 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour, and what I'm going to do is season it with some kosher salt and some freshly ground black pepper. This is going to make a nice little coating for our chicken breast. And then we can just dip each one in very lightly. This is something that we don't need a strong coating on. It's just a little something to help it stick from the bottom of the pan. So now that we've got our chicken all floured and ready to go, we can start by heating some olive oil in our pan. And what I'm going to do is turn our heat onto medium, and then I'm going to add a tablespoon of olive oil. And what we're looking for is for this olive oil to coat the bottom of the pan evenly. So I'm going to go ahead and just put my chicken breast in a nice single layer. And this is a dish that I became familiar with in Paris. It's something that's classic bistro food. So we're going to let these simmer for about 3 to 5 minutes per side until they get nice and golden. So now our chicken has finished sauteing on one side, and we can tell it's ready to flip because we can see the edges of the chicken, how they've changed color. That's because the underside is already cooked. So we can just take our tongs and gently turn the chicken over. And you see how nice and easy that glides. That's because it's really the perfect time to be turning. We're going to let these cook just for a minute longer. So now that we've finished sauteing on both sides, we can see that our chicken is nice and golden on either side. I'm just removing them from the pan. We're going to take our zucchini and add our zucchini in. These are 3 zucchini, which we've just added. You could do about 3/4 pound if you wanted to go by weight. And I like to plan about 3/4 of a zucchini per person. And we're just going to brown our zucchini on either side. And the only reason for doing this is to give the zucchini a little bit of flavor. If you rely on the majority of your plate being filled up with vegetables instead of with meat or chicken or fish, you'll have a lower fat dish, you'll have more fiber. So we can see now our zucchini is starting to get golden brown. I'm going to add my chicken right back into the pan, and the zucchini will make like a little bed for our chicken. Now I'm going to add 2 cups of reduced sodium chicken stock. And this I got at Harris Teeter. Reduced sodium is wonderful because it's got half the sodium of regular chicken stock. So what I'm going to do is just pour this right over the mixer. Now we can see where the sauce is starting to boil here. That's perfect. This is exactly the temperature we want it to be. Now I'm turning this down to a simmer, and I'm going to cover it with a lid. And we'll let it simmer for about 20 minutes. Right now I'm going to show you how to make our herb olive oil mashed potatoes. I've got a pot of water, which I've already brought to a boil. I'm just going to season it with some kosher salt. And then I'm going to add our potatoes. These are about 3/4 pound of baby Yukon Gold potatoes, and I'm cutting them into even-sized chunks. And the reason why we like to cut them into even-sized chunks is because then they'll cook more evenly, and they'll cook at the same time. And I'm just going to let these boil on medium-high to high for about 10 minutes until they're fork tender. We've just finished cooking and draining our potatoes, and I'm just going to mash them a little bit with the potato masher to get them started. And once we get them kind of mashed together, we can start adding our delicious flavorings. Now the first thing I'm going to add is about 2 tablespoons of our extra virgin olive oil, the zest of 1 lemon. Now I'm going to add our kosher salt, about a tablespoon. And another thing that we're going to add as a secret ingredient is about 1/4 to 1/2 cup of freshly squeezed lemon juice. And then I'm going to add 2 different herbs. Here we have chopped cilantro and chopped dill. And these I'm using because they have a lot of health benefits. Cilantro has been known to lower blood sugar. What cilantro is it's the fresh herb version of the dry spice coriander. And the next thing that I'm going to add is baby dill. Dill is really good because not only does it taste great, but it has a lot of mineral salts in it. So you can eat it without having to add a lot of sodium. So we've just added a 1/4 cup of the baby dill and a 1/4 cup of cilantro, but you can do it to taste. So now that we've finished mashing our potatoes, we can complete our chicken with zucchini and plate everything up together. Our chicken breast and our zucchini have just been simmering for about 20 minutes in the stock, and you can see how nice and cooked through they are. So now what I'm going to do is take all of the zucchini and chicken and place them into a serving platter. We're adding about 2 tablespoons of traditional Dijon mustard. I'm just pushing everything over to the side, and I'm just kind of whisking the mixture back and forth. We've scraped everything up from the bottom of the pan. And this is just making sure that the Dijon mustard works in. Once we let everything coat the bottom of the pan again by tipping the pan back, it cooks much, much more quickly and it gets more thick. And you can do this until you see the sauce has reduced to about half of its original volume. I'm going to add some fresh cilantro. Remember, cilantro, in addition to its great taste, it's also wonderful for lowering blood sugar. So now our sauce, as you can see, has reduced by half. And I'm going to use this to coat our chicken breast with our zucchini. There you have it. And now we'll plate, just take some of the mashed potatoes and plate them in a little mound like this across the center of a plate. And then we can take our chicken breast with the zucchini right on top, and then we'll spoon a little bit of sauce around. So there you have our Dijon glazed chicken breast with zucchini and herb olive oil mashed potatoes.
You've just witnessed a master creating a meal that your family will smile over for days when you make it in your home. The rich combination of low-fat protein, plant-based nutrients, and understated tastes is both pleasurable and healthy. You might even experiment with sweet potatoes to bring additional nutrient value to the meal. I hope you enjoyed Taste of France when you create your own meal of Dijon glazed chicken breasts with zucchini and herb olive oil mashed potatoes.